that Cena and Roman Reigns conversation when Cena was like, "I can't move on because you guys suck," basically.
Basically got me stuck here.
I gotta keep coming back.
I want to make kids movies.
The
guys
thing
are
is
messing things
whether or
up.
not something is going to be classic or not. That's the kicker. Is like what in 20 years.
It's like, okay, would you, if you heard, just to make you cringe, if you heard they were remaking Forrest Gump?
Why?
Yeah. Why?
I don't.
It's a classic, so we don't need that.
Well, says who?
Says
A
me.
lot of people, like 90% of the people in America.
I'm just saying, like, then we don't have any classics anymore. If you keep, remake it. Like Murphy Brown. No one's going to say anything about the fact that they brought back Murphy Brown. And what,
they killed
where
it
is
again.
It got canceled. Because we didn't need it.
I think the classics will now change. What you're talking about, though, is mainstream classics are going to be diminished by these revivals of these shows. But now, indie movies are still these movies that they're not chasing after and they're not touching.
Yeah.
So while the indie scene continues to rise, that's the things that people are going to remember. Like, let's face it, the movie that has now become one of the highest grossing, actually the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time, The Joker. Is an indie movie. It's essentially some art house film where somebody thought, well, this guy who has a little bit of mental issues goes on this, trail and winds up becoming the unnamed clown prince of crime, essentially. Yeah. Like that's what he winds up becoming. Which is like, I like that movie, but that part of it kind of bothers me still because. Sorry, my Joker is like not somebody with like a mental issue, like who went that route. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, you
like
mean a homicidal maniac?
Yeah, he's clearly saying
But I'm sorry, like he actually thinks things through, and I felt like it was more like Arthur in this movie would have been fine on his meds. Like if he was on his meds, he might have been a little bit better, and he didn't make that decision for those things to happen. And if the world wasn't so, let's get the violin. If the world wasn't so hard for him, oh man,
But that is a lot of people's lives.
But wait, that's
are we
true.
Recording about
we
that?
are recording.
Oh, I was wondering. I'm like, we just giving
this all away for free.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't give this away for free.
This can't be going away from free. Hey guys, welcome to the show. This is Markell, and this guy over here is Ronnie, and this guy over here is Cedric. You may know him from a show online called True Story, Bro. Shameless plug here. Tell him a little bit about your show and why you decided to come and crash our show today.
Been in the game for it's coming on 2 years doing the podcast thing.
Nice.
It started off just me, my friends, just shooting the breeze. I'm like, we always had great moments. Well, why not record them and then put them on the internet? So one day, I just said, I got the mics, let's do it. And we did that, series of Chinese food and pizza. And then we ate them on the air. And then, of course, that's where our story began and continues.
That's awesome.
And,
that's awesome.
Well, that sounds very similar to our story.
That's similar to our story.
Except ours had explosions and saving girls and...
So it was Bad Boys, but we
I was I'm Marcus.
Your boy back.
I would be Marcus, of course.
I'm Mike Larry. So we're here, as always, we're going to bring you guys the news and some other topics around pop culture that we decided we wanted to bring to you guys and talk about ourselves. Because, hey, we're nerds and we love this stuff. So we're going to start out with TV news. So what do you got for us today in TV news?
TV news. So Disney Plus, as you know, is launching. Did it launch? It's launching soon, right? It's
November 12th.
November 12th.
The world will change. It will become Plus.
So two shows that are coming in the future of Disney Plus, SheHulk and Moon Knight, have found their writers. For SheHulk, we got Jessica Goya. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Jessica
Goya.
Who I found out is an award-winning writer for her Rick and Morty episode, Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick!
I got myself into a pickle Rick.
I mean, she's done a crap load of other stuff, but...
Here's an ironic thing about you reading that cue card. Here's an ironic thing about that.
I didn't hear that after that bus that you pushed them under.
Did he catch the number on that one? No.
How's my driving?
Today is actually a launch of I believe season 4 of Rick and
Rick and
Morty.
Morty, yeah.
So it's ironic.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I meant to do that.
Please continue to read your cue cards.
So she besides that, she worked on Robot Chicken, Silicon Valley, Star
Which
Wars,
show is she working on?
Star Wars Detour. These are other shows she was she wrote before.
No, I said which show was she?
She's doing for SheHulk. She's going to be the head writer for SheHulk.
I like her.
And a little bit, and I found a little podcast with her that I thought was interesting, just to share a tiny bit of her backstory.
Cool.
But she worked in a comic book store in high school, went to college, and organized comic book conventions. And then,
Did you say Goya? I just reading her last name now.
Jessica.
It should be like Gaio.
Oh, Gaio. That's what I said. I probably messed up her name.
Sorry about that, Jessica.
And
he just learned how to.
And then she applied for a writing fellowship with a friend's advice at Nickelodeon that she thought, I'll put this together and work on. 8 months went by, didn't hear anything. Wound up becoming one of the finalists in this thing, and has written, got a job at Nickelodeon, and has been a writer ever since.
Dang.
12 years. Holy crap.
Shit.
But now head writer of She-Hulk.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I think that it's important for, people to follow their dreams, and internships apparently pay off. And,
they pay off eventually.
They pay off eventually.
They pay off when you're young.
So I gotta ask you guys, who is I know we might have talked about this before, but I've been seeing some different actresses that have kind of tickling my fancy a little bit to make me think, who could be Jessica, a.k.a. She-Hulk, which is ironic. The showrunner's name is Jessica, and so is hers. But anyway, who do you guys have a pick for
I have
her?
my same pick. I don't know if Cedric wants to go first.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You know what? Out of all the shows, that's the one that no one ever asked me, and then I'm like, that's very.
I mean, I could go if you want to.
Go for it. Go for it. So I can.
And I'm about to murder her last name too. But Elijah Dushku.
Eliza Dushku.
If you don't get out my face with some Elijah Dushku,
I said that
small.
But that's the thing. I think that whoever should become She-Hulk should be a small actress, because when she grows, she's gonna be a lot bigger. You know.
But how are they gonna do the growth?
You know what I mean?
Is it gonna be CG?
It's probably gonna be CG anyway.
Damn.
He's thinking kind of like CG, like Mark Ruffalo, like
turns into the
that
Hulk.
kind of.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
She-Hulk.
So if you have a smaller person, but at the same time, she's a good actress who can bring a lot of attitude and stuff to the character. So I think she'd make a good choice. I don't know if she'd do it. I know she had a baby not too long ago, so I don't know if she's at the top of the casting list. But I think she'd make a good She-Hulk.
Being honest, I still go with my original pick, which is still the same until I see otherwise, which is Mackenzie Davis. If you don't know her, she just recently starred as the Universal Soldier.
She just recently protected Danny.
Exactly, Danny Ramos in Terminator: Dark Fate. Yep. She plays a nice badass character in there, but I've also seen her play, the simple, smart character as well, just which is a nice balance of what She-Hulk is. So she's my pick. So I'm rooting for her. Who do you got for She-Hulk?
Well, thank you for giving me your choices. It helped formulate who the hell I wanted to pick for this fantastic role. I would say Rachel Nichols, and she was from a show called Continuum. And I'm like, you know what? She's got that look. She knows how to do action, and she could definitely, she could do it. She could do it, in my opinion. She was in G.I. Joe. I do remember that. She was in the first G.I. Joe, which I would love to forget, and I'm pretty sure she would. But yeah, I would say she would make a great She-Hulk.
Well, let me ask you this: what do you, in terms of these particular? I know mine's from Mackenzie. Terminator is a great resume movie that she can use, that she's pictured into Marvel. For your guys' pick, who do you have? In terms of her movies, what does she have that you would say, Disney, you need to take a look at this right here to, be my resume for me to be, a She-Hulk in the MCU.
You said it right there. Continuum. She did her damn thing. She was a cop from a future that was run by corporations, and she had to go back in time to stop these terrorists from changing the past and ruining her future.
Okay. So you're going the aspect of like the strong female who is also like able to manage the legal system. Because if anybody doesn't know, Jessica, aka She-Hulk, is actually a lawyer as well. Yeah. So it'd be nice to see that kind of Law and Order meets like superhero, kind of thing. So that's gonna be really nice to see that come together. See the procedural show, along with the superhero aspect, which we don't have that just yet. But trust me, it's coming.
I haven't followed Eliza to see what she's done more recently, but I know she's done plenty of physical roles with Buffy and
Dollhouse.
She was even in what do you call it? Bring It On. Bring It On. So she's definitely very flexible. That sounds weird, but
she's very flexible.
I see what you did there, Ronald.
You know what I mean? Like and in terms of acting chops, she's been in commanding roles where she has to take charge a lot. Even going back to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when she was one of the Diamond
Diamond Thieves. That's right.
She was the main chick telling them like, "Come on, like we got to do this, like man up or whatever."
She's a small lady who definitely commands
a lot of power.
Exactly.
Even on Buffy, when she was Faith, she like commanded a lot of power in her role.
She shot down what's her name? A role to do Faith the Vampire Slayer because she was going to get her own spin-off,
right.
And she went to go do True Calling.
I'll ask this question to you guys as well, just to flip the same question. Who do you think would be a casting choice that's like, who's an actress that needs to be pulled off
Emilia
of the table?
Clarke. I do not want to see Emilia Clarke anywhere near the She-Hulk set.
She couldn't do it.
No, thank you.
She couldn't do
it.
And
not just because like she's short or whatever. She was.
It's not her. It's not her.
I think the last season of Game of Thrones just made me kind of annoyed with her, so I don't want to see her.
That's not her.
I don't want to see her.
Wow, you're still a little sore there from Game of Thrones.
For me,
huh?
I don't really need to see her anywhere near the set.
Bro, you need to talk about that. Sounds like a problem for the showrunners, dog.
So
I still love her though. She's a cool actress. Just not a part of She.
I'm gonna throw this person out here immediately, just because I think while I love her as Letty, I do not want to see her touch She-Hulk, which is Michelle Rodriguez. Stay far away from my She-Hulk. It's just that simple. Just stay far away. And you?
I'd say even though physically she'd be a great fit, but I'm pretty sure as far as the acting game, it would be god awful. It would be Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, she would be god-awful. Wow, thank you for pointing out that Ronda Rousey is a terrible actress and a pretend wrestler.
No, I don't think she's a terrible actress. I still don't think she'd be good for this.
No, she wouldn't be good for this.
I'm not saying that because she might break my arm.
Spoilers, she is in Charlie's Angels. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. They spoiled that. But no, I don't think she's a terrible actress. She was in that movie. She was briefly in the movie with Mark Wahlberg. I can't think of the name of it right now, but she was pretty good in that. Even though she wasn't.
She's also on a show that I watch, 911 with Angela Bassett. Which is like,
she's not terrible. She's not terrible. Definitely wouldn't be for the She-Hulk role.
Exactly, because if it's something that's a one-off, cool. But if it's something, not trying to throw her under the bus like you did Ronnie, but like she's good in spurts. Yeah. She's not somebody that can run the long distance.
Not yet. It's kind of like John Cena. Like John Cena when he first started his acting career, I was like, pfft. But now, that he's been spoon-fed for us for a while, I'm like, okay.
Now he's the funny big guy that, like, if you put him in a certain awkward situation, then it's funny.
And that's what's so good about it. Because before they were trying to, he's just another action hero. Yeah, we got too many of those.
Yeah,
please.
We have The Rock, and we
not to mention The Rock and Jason Statham would just rip him in half.
So. That's true.
Yeah, apparently they're immortal in the world of Hobbs and Shaw. Speaking of which, a quick sidebar: you just watched Hobbs and Shaw for the first time, Mr. Graham. So, what do you think?
All right, so let's go on to Moon Knight.
I love it how you're not looking into the viewers.
Are you sliding past that?
So yeah.
Look like you about to go do your taxes and get lost for an hour. I forgot to carry the one. That's a mistake.
So moving on to Marvel's other TV news. Moon Knight has cast Jeremy Slater as their lead writer. And the most recent thing he's done that I know, because I looked it up, which was he was the developer and creator of Netflix's Umbrella Academy.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. That was good because that was a good show.
Which I have to say is a vast improvement because he's also the guy who wrote the last Fantastic Four. movie.
Whoa,
So
wait,
I
with
was
the
like-
Josh Trank?
Yeah,
Oh,
but that was like that movie had problems too because of I saw a lot
Studio
of
interference.
I
studio
hear the
interference a
violin,
lot.
but that movie, what I saw, sucked.
No, but I mean, like, because
But that
he
wasn't
had
his
a lot of
fault,
that really wasn't his fault because he had a lot of other stuff he planned to put in the movie. That
Oh, you
they
saying
decided
execs got involved?
Yeah,
and,
they got involved,
changed some
and
things
it
up a
became
little
Wild
bit.
Wild West. For Will
Oh
Smith.
my god.
Oh my god! You just brought that movie up.
But yeah, but I
My
think,
stomach hurt.
but yeah.
The
So,
wow.
any casting choices for Moon Knight?
Kaz Anvar. I'm not even gonna go past.
I forgot who I said last time. It was another actor that I thought who could be Moon Knight. Who was it? I forget who it was now. I think it wasn't the dude from Baby Driver. Was
What,
it him?
Ansel Elgort?
Yeah. I don't know why I love that guy so much.
He's good.
He's like, he's my guy.
Yeah, he's like, I wanted him to be Spider-Man before.
Yeah,
now
you need
Tom
to
Holland.
sit your ass down.
But I
somewhere
think
with
he was
that.
too
That
tall,
ain't-
though.
Nah.
The thing about
Nah.
Ansel Elgort is he's a great actor, but he gets caught up in bullshit controversy with like his roles. Like Baby Driver was good, and they were like, "Yo, Baby Driver's gonna be great," and Baby Driver was good, and then the Kevin Spacey shit.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
it's like everything.
Wait, he's
that-
involved in that?
No, like he was in the movie.
No,
with-
he was
and
in
then
that
people
movie.
would boycott
Yeah.
watching the movie.
Yeah,
of
because
Kevin
Kevin Spacey
Spacey.
was in it.
And then like something else would happen with his movies, and I'm like, damn, bro, I forgot. Damn, bro, I'm sorry.
It's like every movie he stars in, some controversy happens to someone else who was in the movie.
He's
so
like,
the
yeah,
movie
this
gets
is a
kinda-
dream come true. I'm in this movie with Liam Neeson. It's like, damn, Liam. Damn.
Oh man,
Gotta find me a black bastard. Like, what? I still can't believe that. I love Liam Neeson. And when I heard that interview, I was just like, no.
What a way to
why?
retire. What a way to retire. Like grand champ. Like you stood on the table, hands up, like, yeah, I'm done. It's over. I'm canceled.
Just like, so you're out of Hollywood, huh? I'm just gonna take
That
that
was-
Hollywood pass, and you have a good life.
I was taking my celebrity status away.
Sorry, Liam. I know it's been a while.
It's all right,
I just had
Liam.
to dig it in. You know,
He was
had to
dark
dig
man,
in.
dog.
He was dark man. He
He'll
can
always have a
always
space
be,
of mind.
always be a heart.
Always.
Always in my heart.
So I think that's what we have for movie news. What do we got
No, for
in?
TV, that
Oh,
was
sorry, for
TV
TV news. What do we have for in movie news? We got some. So the launch. Not only is the launch of Apple TV Plus already happened, and Disney is happening in just a few days. My thoughts though is like for you guys, what do you think is some of the projects that between both of those streaming services are you looking forward to the most? For Disney, let's take the Marvel stuff off the table because guess what, guys? None of that stuff is happening right now. The only thing that's happening right now is Mandalorian, which looks kind of cool.
Well, I'll tell you for the Disney stuff, which I think is funny and a great marketing tool, because I was rewatching some of the footage. Remember when Kevin Feige unveiled all the shows and movies? Mm-hmm. I was rewatching that, and I didn't realize at some points during that he said that some of the shows are going to interconnect with the movies. Like, so these characters are going to go. So they kind of got us around the balls when you think about it that way.
It's a nice tie-in.
If you don't watch it, you're probably going to be lost in the sauce a little bit with what's going on, because I'm pretty sure they're going to bring their problems from the show into the movie. That's the whole purpose of Winter Soldier. I think that Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier is literally just to make us care more about Bucky and Sam Wilson before Sam Wilson becomes the new Captain America. That's what I think. Before he becomes. That's what I think. That show is literally just a launching pad to get Winter Soldier cleared so that he's not wanted by the government anymore, and to let us care about both these characters. And
so now that you did mention there, I do think there's more to that. I think that not only are they going to accomplish what you just said, but I think they're also going to do something that I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten about, which is the fact that in the MCU, or the Marvel universe in general, it's a universe that not only has heroes, but it also has villains.
Oh, yeah.
And while Thanos has been the main bad guy, stop this purple dude from getting the little magical, jewels, there's still Hydra, there's still like Zemo, there's still
other villains that have been setting up stuff.
AIM, all of those guys are still around. So you have to, at some point we're gonna get MODOK, which I know he's already in the MCU, technically twice now. Peter Dinklage, but I would have loved to see him as MODOK. That would have been very interesting to take, like just to see
Yeah,
his
that's
little
true.
head blown up into, you know, the giant head. I am here for destruction of humankind. You know.
You sounded like my ATM when I put my cards in the
You know what's
machine.
weird?
Does not compute. Will not give you
I know it's
insufficient
weird
funds.
going all the way back years and years ago to the Blade movie. I don't know if you remember, there was a scene,
course.
I forget which Blade it was, when he was trying to get information from the big creature
It was
blob.
two. No, it was
and he
one. It was one.
burning
It
them.
was
Yeah.
one.
When I
Because
saw
was burning
that,
with
when
the
I
light.
saw that creature, that was the first time it crossed in my head that MODOK could be live action.
Not when I saw that, I didn't think MODOK. I thought the other guy. I can't remember his name right now, but he is in charge of like the battle planet, where basically they bring the X-Men in and they all have to like. There's this like big game show. He has like sort of machine thing.
I know.
Spider
You talking about
legs.
Mojo.
Mojo,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Because he literally looks like that. It's like a fat
that-
dude on a
that-
spider
it, like,
thing.
Put
Yeah.
that in my head to make me think, one day.
This can make it work.
Yeah, like one day.
Once again, Blade has paved the way for
It
this
holds
thing.
the test of time.
Exactly.
But is there anything on Apple TV Plus that you're looking forward to?
I'm actually interested in Dickinson with,
Really?
Oh,
with
that's
Haley
right. Yeah, I
Steinfeld.
wanna
Ooh,
watch
Haley
that.
Steinfeld.
Because
Yes.
I'm a big Emily Dickinson fan, and I said, you know what, this looks good. It's contemporary, but it still has that classic feel. I want to see where they go with it.
Now, is it supposed to be set back in Dickinson's
It is.
days, or okay,
It is.
okay?
It's just
Damn it,
that
so
you
no
know,
chance of Bumblebee showing up.
not at all. Maybe in a great cross promotion, that'd be great. She's like, damn, I'm tired of this. It's like getting a Bumblebee. Let's go.
Oh, but he would be like a super even older. Oh, would he even be?
No.
a
He'd
no.
be a
Ours
carriage.
wouldn't have been in
He'd
yet.
be a carriage.
Yeah,
yellow
he'd be a carriage.
I'm
Take
looking
off
forward to on Apple TV Plus, The Banker. You guys seen that trailer yet?
Banker.
Yeah.
The
I haven't
Banker
seen it.
is starring Samuel Jackson, two
First
Marvel guys, Samuel Jackson and Anthony
Yeah,
Mackie.
he just getting double.
They getting
money,
that money. He's on. Anthony Mackie is now on like 3 different streaming channels. Like it's crazy.
Get that guap, Papa Doc.
Get that. His
He
real
ain't-
name's
he ain't-
Clarence.
Look, he
He's got
ain't
a real
choked up.
nice marriage.
He ain't choked up no more.
That's true.
He choked up with all that bread. Like,
So that's what he did after he lost the fight with.
He went to the
B-Rabbit.
army.
That's
He went
right.
to the
and
army.
then he
became
met Captain
Sam
America.
Wilson. Oh,
Exactly.
snap!
Changed
look
his
at that.
name from Clarence to Sam.
Now he's got all the bars.
Nice.
Now he can win this game.
You know what? They at some point it would just be a funny joke if the Marvel universe had Eminem show up as B-Rabbit and them running into each other.
Whoa, that'd be good. I don't, like the Asian, you like you look familiar. You're like, yeah, you too.
You
He's
too.
like, I'm at a loss for words.
You're like-
It happens.
You're like, okay.
I can believe that. That would make a lot of sense.
My favorite Anthony Mackie thing was with Tom Holland when he was all like, "Oh, he's like, oh, it must have happened in the Falcon movie. Oh yeah, there isn't one."
Yes, that was the greatest rip. I was like, oh my god.
That dude hit him with a Mortal Kombat uppercut. It was over.
That was the long pause one. Wait for them to come over. Bah! Oh! Like, jeez.
Intelligent.
For Apple TV, I watched the first episode of C, which I thought was pretty good. But another show that I didn't finish the first episode, but I saw like half the morning show. I think. That's
Oh, with
with Chris, what's her name?
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston
Oh, okay.
and Steve
Steve
Carell.
Carell.
So I
There's
didn't
one more
know that
person.
that show is basically kind of like a Me Too-ish show. Where Steve Carell, well, this is not even a spoiler. Steve Carell's character, literally in the opening credits, gets accused of like sexual misconduct, and it's showing you basically like what happens to everybody else when something like that goes on. Which
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, damn it, why don't I have a time machine to steal this idea? Somebody literally created a show to show you basically like
What goes down?
what goes down and
Oh.
what the ripple effect of one person's action does to everyone else.
That's
Correct.
true.
And I'm like, I'm watching this like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I gotta
Very
finish
true.
that, but I'm definitely already a fan of that one.
The
That's
Banker is for Samuel Jackson and Anthony Mackie, and it's a very cool story. It reminds me of Black Klansman, where these two
Right.
black guys are buying up all this real estate and banks, but they're doing it with a pseudo white guy that's literally going in and played by Nicholas Hoult, who's literally going in and pretending to be them or talking on the phone. And they're buying real estate, they're buying property in all of these different areas, and it's based on a true story. Like, these guys are real. They actually went and did this, and they
outsmarted the system.
They outsmarted the system basically and said, okay. So it's just hilarious to see Anthony Mackie and Samuel Jackson, because they don't get a chance to interact as much in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's just funny because, like, technically, wait, are they the only black guys right now? I'm trying to think.
Mackie,
you got Idris Elba, Anthony Mackie, and Samuel Jackson.
No, you got War Machine.
Don Cheadle. Cody Rhodes. No, I'm kidding.
Cody Rhodes. Wow. I was about to push you right out this exit door that you can't see. Like, get out of here. Don left.
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. And then we got Okoye.
And Tessa.
T'Challa.
Well, yeah, we got all of Wakanda, basically. Yeah. Okay, besides Black Panther. Okay, there's
I love how you just glaze over Black Panther. Like, okay, he's got black in his name. How did you miss this one?
Ronnie's a big fan of Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yeah,
huge fan.
I
mean, he walks past me every time I see him somewhere.
He did it for the art.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh, for the art. Oh, for the art.
I gave you the art.
So that's Apple TV Plus. Let's see, on Disney, anything that they currently have, like, are you first and foremost?
Oh, actually, yes. The one thing that they're starting off with, Lady and the Tramp. They have that coming out.
Live action?
Yeah, live action. I'm excited to see that. I loved the animated version when I was young.
I'm sorry, but since they did The Lion King and they took an animated movie,
oh no, this one's actually gonna be probably good.
But why? Like, how can unless they do
they're
something?
Gonna have a limited budget and then they have a gun to the head. Like,
this is probably because this is gonna be done. This looks like it from the trailer. It looks more like what I said. Like, look who's talking. It looks like these dogs are just gonna be coming
actually
up
talking, or in their head,
like talking in their head, and we get to
see what's in their world.
Gotcha.
Like, cause Lion King.
Like that movie.
Oh, you like the Lion King?
No.
I said like what?
We're just talking. I didn't watch the Lion King. I just saw Aladdin.
Oh, that was pretty good.
It was very good. Yeah. The only thing that I'll agree with that a lot of people said was Jafar was lacking.
Yes. The villain was like, and they should have had Gilbert Godfrey do the voice of the parrot. That was like a missed opportunity.
That's true.
That would have.
Right, like, where is my nostalgia Hulk? I need it.
I'm like, that would have just. I just think like that would have helped add more depth to Jafar's character. Because even in the cartoon, what's his name? I forget the parrot's name.
Iago
adds the depth to Jafar's character.
Because he's like the devil on the shoulder.
He's like, well, if you do this, you try to.
You know what? As a man who fails at accents repeatedly, that was not bad.
Thank you. I've been working on it. I've been practicing in the mirror all day.
You know what's funny? Thinking about when you just did that, I was like, if they couldn't afford Gilbert Godfrey, they could have got Adam Sandler. He probably could have done a good job of doing that.
He would have done it. I mean, he's got terrible movies right now, so he can use to jump into Disney World.
His new one, what is that?
That one looks good.
Cutting Gems.
It's funny now him doing serious stuff because his stuff on Netflix. Hopefully it got canceled at some point.
He's still making guap.
He's making the money.
Still making the guap.
He got a triple-digit $1 million contract from Netflix for those movies. So
he's like a UFC fighter. Like, win or fail, I'm still getting paid.
He's like, how much does he get paid for that? All right, I'll get it.
Uncut Gems. That's the name.
Uncut Gems. It looks good.
That one looks pretty good. I gotta check that out.
Definitely. I didn't even know it existed.
I mean, honestly, I loved Spanglish? Was that the
Spanglish is amazing.
Spanglish is awesome.
But he started it. He didn't direct it or do anything.
Oh, he started directing it?
He did another serious movie once a while ago with Punch Drunk Love, and then there's another one he did with Don Cheadle that was pretty good a long time ago. Where he lost his family.
He lost his family.
Yeah.
God, what the heck was that?
That was pretty good.
Consult the Googles. That's my my thing from True Story.
Consult the Googles.
Consult the Googles.
What was that?
Just type in Don Cheadle and him. He's got a huge movie library.
Oh, yeah, he
just
does.
Go like, I'm going to just Google his movie library.
Oh, yeah, that probably was a bad idea.
Just type in Adam Sandler, Don Cheadle. They only been in one movie together.
The Cobbler was a good Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, it even comes up. Adam Sandler with Don Cheadle. Hey, guys, you're getting a chance to see us Google stuff.
Rain over me.
Rain over me.
Which I believe is also I also think that's a Bruce Springsteen song.
Yes, it is
a song.
I believe because he was listening to it in the movie with headphones on. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
See, he's taking your game. He did it the first try. I don't even know Ronnie like that. Ronnie's killing the game. Killing the game.
Well, that movie came out
2007.
12 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, wow. I was
going by.
like, shoot, time's going
Time
by.
flies.
I'm like, oh, actually, and I literally because I just saw this trailer, I'm actually looking forward to Dr. Doolittle with Robert Downey Jr.
I did see that, and I'm not
Yeah,
sure
that
yet.
might be good.
They're doing it more so from the books and not like the. So they're not.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't want to repeat the ones they did with Eddie Murphy.
Sure,
again,
sure.
so
I can see that.
So it actually looks pretty good. The trailers got me like, all right, I could get my money for that.
RDJ can't do wrong. He hasn't done wrong since he came back on the scene.
He really didn't, because
This is
that
true.
movie he did where his father was convicted,
Oh,
like Blake set up
that
for
was-
crap.
I remember
That was pretty
that
good.
was the
too.
judge? The
The
judge.
judge.
Yeah, the judge.
That was a pretty good movie
that was
too.
The other movie
Amazing.
too he did with Jamie Foxx, where he was like the
the
violinist.
Soloist,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sherlock Holmes, you name it. He's
Oh,
just been
God.
killing
and
it.
I don't know if I think it's next year. The movie with Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan.
No, that's the end of this year.
That the end of this year?
Mercy.
Mercy or something
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that. That
Mercy,
one looks
yeah.
pretty good.
That one's
too.
because that's one's also based on a true story about some crazy events that, again, I don't know how this
Transpired,
happens in
yeah.
this world at this point, but like, can we get over the racism thing by now? Like, is
Nah.
it no?
I
Okay.
wish. I wish.
World peace.
I'm not, and let me clarify that. I'm not saying the like, are they over it yet? Nah, I'm not saying that. I'm just
Oh
saying
my
like,
God.
hey, I'm saying more on the lines
You're
of like,
saying
are
put
we
it behind us like that Eric Bana Hulk movie.
yeah, let's just forget about it. Let's pretend
forget
like
about that didn't happen, and let's move on with life.
But then let's just
That
make
was
sure we're good. Moving right along from that. So in terms of movie news, so for 2020, what are you looking forward to in terms of movies?
Movies, keeping it real, I'm just looking for them to be good. I don't even have a title.
He's like, I'm just looking for a movie.
Oh, and I forgot Bad Boys. Bad
Oh
Boys.
yeah,
that's
true.
another
Bad
one.
Boys.
Bad Boys.
That's gonna be 2020.
yeah.
I hope that's good because I did not like Bad Boys 2. It had its moments.
Oh, you didn't like Bad Boys 2?
But it wasn't.
Pretty good.
You know why? Because
It
the
wasn't
first
one.
one
Yeah.
was so good,
The first one was the best.
and
one.
the second one was like Diet Coke.
Yeah.
It's an option that's there,
I did like the
but not
opening.
what I
You're
really
like tasting
want.
it like
the
something's
opening,
different.
I did like the opening scene. Like they were right in the middle of a Ku Klux Klan.
That was
rally.
good.
I was like,
Oh.
whoa,
It had its
that was-
moments.
So
But-
Ronnie has a list here of some movies for 2020. So we got Black Widow coming,
Black Widow,
Bad Boys for
No
Life,
Time
No
to
Time to Die.
Mulan.
We're finally gonna see Godzilla and Kong, man.
Hey.
Finally, at
I
some
noticed
point.
you just skipped Mulan.
No, he said Mulan. He said
Nah,
Mulan.
Oh, did I say
Oh,
Mulan?
what do you call it? Wonder Woman sequel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Birds of Prey. I'm
Okay.
excited for that.
we'll see.
Ghostbusters.
I'll go in with no expectations. But
Top Gun, which I'm like, I don't even remember the first one,
Moving
so I gotta
right
watch
along,
that again.
Yeah, I don't want to
So-
see another Top Gun.
Why not?
What's the point?
Well, I don't even
What's
remember.
the-
I don't
you know
even
what it is?
remember the
It's a
first one.
cash grab. That's the point.
Yeah.
And because The Mummy was so terrible, and we got a good Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise needs another win.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
went to The Mummy.
We did go to the Mummy
We
premiere.
went to a premiere. Good thing it was free.
And Tom Cruise and everybody was there. I wanted to
Yeah.
tell them, hey, this was a shitty movie. Like, what happened here? What's going on?
I think that they knew.
But that was back when Universal was just like, oh, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put the cart before the horse. We're going to go ahead and say,
yeah, they're gonna
we're going to
create
make a
the
universe.
A dark universe.
Dark
I think that could still be done. They just didn't do.
Yeah, they just need to
Yeah.
fire everyone.
In about 10 years.
Oh, then we also have Morbius, which is still coming, which might be good.
Yeah, something even better. Sonic.
Sonic, I think.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, they
Sonic the
redesigned him.
Hedgehog.
He actually
I
looks more
love
like
it
a
how
cartoon.
you said, let's move on from Morbius into Sonic the Hedgehog. Think you need to get your glasses fixed.
We got A Quiet Place 2. We got Halloween
Quiet
Kills.
Place was amazing. I definitely want to see that.
Wait,
Another-
I see the Quiet Place has a new name. Quiet Place 2, It's Even Quieter. That's the title. No? That one bombed.
Was it
All right.
Scooby Doo?
Just like
Bill and Ted. We got
Oh,
Bill and
that's
Ted.
gonna be dope.
Yeah, another remake of The Grudge. A remake of a remake.
Oh.
That's a reboot of the reboot.
I'm done.
Great show, reboot.
Well, a lot of great stuff to look
that's about
forward
it.
to in 2020. Let us know in the comments what your choices for 2020 movies or any other movie news that you'd like to share with us. So we're going to move right along from there to our comic book recommendations of the week.
No, my
No,
friend.
you got to say it. You can sing along with us. We got to teach them the song.
It's comic book recommendations.
Okay, now that was beautiful.
I like that.
I like it. It's like we're like the four tops, except for it's three.
Yeah, I'm like, there's three of them, man. You can't count.
There's only 3 tops, man.
It's 3 tops? It's 3 tops? Oh, my bad. So what do you have for... I'm going to go first. I'll go first. So
yeah, you go first while I try to put together what the synopsis without messing it up.
Get your cue cards together, kid. Go ahead and get your cue cards. So my comic book recommendation of the week is none other than... we actually have a video interview coming none other than Mr. Wagner and his son, coming from Grendel, the Devil's Odyssey. That series, we actually got a chance to read the first one at New York Comic Con. We did a great interview with them, and I continued on with the story onward to number 2. And we find our character Paladin and his little drone trying out on a mission from issue 1, where he was sent out to find inhabitable land for their people to go into and grow a new place. And in the second issue, we find they discover this race of people that are, very primitive, and they're in a very, I'd say, from our standard, maybe a third world kind of status, in the sense of like they haven't even, maybe even lower, they have not even discovered fire yet. So at this point, he's thinking about whether or not he can blend the people that he's bringing with him with these people, and the android is saying like, hey, no, this is not going to happen. Not to spoil anything, but something happens, and they wind up going on a whole new mission. So it is definitely my recommendation for this week. Grendel, the banter between the android and Paladin or Grendel is just so comical, and the action in here is still great colors, great artwork. So we love to see more coming from the Wagner family. And that is my comic book recommendation for this week. Grendel's Devil Odyssey, coming out from Dark Horse. What do you got for us?
So my comic book recommendation this week comes from Scott Snyder.
Friend of the
Scott
show.
Snyder and Charles, I'm going to mess up his last name, Soule?
Soleil.
Or is it Soul?
It's Charles
In
Soleil.
the East, Charles Soule.
Yes.
But they have a new Image comic series called Undiscovered Country, which I believe has already been optioned for a movie as well.
Already.
But,
Jesus, it just came out like a week or two ago.
But basically, the shorter version of the synopsis, so the United States of America decides to close its borders, which is very relevant to today. But
actually, taking a step back, that is actually also relevant in human history. Japan actually did that as well. They did that many years ago, which is one of the things that led to the World War that we had with them.
But the
anyway,
only difference here is that the United States of America closes its borders from everyone. It cuts ties and closes its borders.
No, Japan did that.
It closes its borders for everyone, and then we don't hear anything from the United States for 30 years.
Oh,
shit.
So in this story, 30 years ago, 30 years go past. The rest of the world is kind of like in shambles and fucked up. And then there's like a team of people in Istanbul who are it's led by, they put a team together, which is an epidemiologist, a historian, and some other people. And they're trying to come up, a virus emerges called the Sky Virus, if I'm not mistaken.
Skynet.
It's called the Sky Virus, which is basically killing us off. People are becoming sick, and we can't figure out how to. The United States suddenly broadcasts a transmission to Istanbul to this people saying, we see what you're going through, we see what's happening, come on in and we might have a cure that can help you.
Oh boy.
Suddenly. So they send this team in. I'm not going to tell you too much to spoil it, but this part I have to take is hilarious. So this team boards a helicopter and they set sail and they go in, and as soon as they reach the borders, which they open up for them to come in, they start firing missiles at them and shoot them out the sky. God. And they're like, so this team becomes stranded. Like, plane crashes, they all survive, so they become stranded in America, which I find ironic too, because it's like, so they're technically like, enemies on foreign land basically in America. So then, like, there's a bunch of other shit that happens that combines like Mad Max and a bunch of Hills Have Eyes and a bunch of other stuff. But it's an awesome story that I feel like if you get a chance, there's some fantastic artwork by a guy named Daniel Orlandini and Giuseppe Camcoli, which I might have read your name. Sorry about that.
You see him at a convention? Convention. That's my new word. Convention.
So basically, they wound up in here and they're struggling to survive. They basically going in for this cure, and then people show up, and it becomes type of like a Hills Have Eyes situation where they're trying to survive their own self. So it's a pretty dope story so far. So you might want to put that on your little list to check out.
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
I'm gonna check that out. It's so, you can clearly just like as you were telling it. I can definitely see some of the like similarities and like sort of metaphors for certain things that are going on. But again,
plus with 30 years passing, you don't know what has been going on in America.
Have we been mutated?
So,
have we been blended with cats? Are we now cat and lizard people all in one?
People?
You don't know.
Do you imagine?
Oh, man.
And what about you? Do you have any comic book recommendations that you could make for whether it be past or present books, some series that you're like, you know what, you need to do yourself a favor, you need to read this, put this in your pipe and read it.
Put it in your pipe.
For sure. I got 2 books that I'll recommend. Since you mentioned our good friend Matt Wagner, I want to let you know that if you haven't been reading Mage is now finished, it's complete.
Oh, it is.
You have The Hero Discovered, which happened way back when. The Hero Denied, that happened in the 90s, and of course the final book, The Hero Denied. Sorry, The Hero Defined was the second one. Enjoy that book. Great storytelling, great characters. Thank you, Matt Wagner, for finishing this book in my lifetime. I thank you. And another book, which is another throwback, is called The American Way. I think I'll let you read that book.
Oh man,
and,
yes.
That right there.
Tell him a little bit about that. Just give him a little sample.
The American Way was kind of like a story about the government making superheroes, kind of similar to like how Vought made them in The Boys. The only difference is they made them, they marketed them, they did everything, and people ate it up like, oh, these guys are real heroes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they wanted to make a newer hero, and they called him the New American. Now, at this junction in time, it's around like the 50s and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Segregation is happening, all that stuff is happening. And the New American is a black man. Now, how they change him different from all the other heroes is they leave in his pain receptors. So he's bulletproof and all that, but he still feels the pain.
Oh, wow.
And
so he's Wolverine, basically. Kind of
way, yeah. Good point.
And he wears a astronaut mask and everything like that. And he has to go through this world that still hates people that look ones like us and try to make it until, certain things happen that changes his story for the better. Or the worse, depending on how you see it. So they had 2 volumes for that. They did have the first series, which was just The American Way, and they did have a second series that were moved off to the 70s. So definitely check those out. They're really good reads. Very short series, The American Way.
Really thank you.
Now I gotta check that.
Yeah, he's like, when he put that in my house, it's like, all right, let me finally read this. Like, I'm just like, this is prime time for anyone who wants to make that into like a movie or television series. I love to see it.
Love that.
Who would you cast in American Way as the lead?
As the lead?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Even though he's big now, I would like to see Michael B. Jordan or something like that.
Wow. I would be interested.
It's because of all his work in like Fruitvale Station and like Creed.
That's the first movie I saw him in. Fruitvale Station.
Amazing.
And
I think Chronicle was the first one I saw, and then
He was in Chronicle.
Yeah, he was.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Jesus,
he got hit by lightning.
That's right.
I forgot he was the young kid in
He
Chronicle.
got killed by the Green Goblin.
Yeah, that kid. That kid. We don't call him the Green Goblin. We just call him, Harry. We just call him Harry.
I'm telling you, they could have fixed that movie if only they introduced him at the end of the first movie. Yeah. Then it would have made sense. Hey, we're friends. Let's get back together and blah, blah, blah. Because then you could be like, oh, they spent time together. Now this makes sense.
Yeah.
Instead of force feeding us like some bad farina.
That's something I definitely want to do, and you guys can vote on this as well and leave some comments or go on social media and talk to us. We want to make a segment where we go and we try to fix some of today and some of the past, worst movies. Number one at the top of there would be Batman vs Superman or Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. The long, ridiculous title for no reason, and
like
try to go
You
in
mean Dawn of Justice?
Suicide Squad is another one, because
Yes.
if I could remake that movie, I would have killed Harley Quinn and Will Smith's character at the very beginning, so we could have found out about the other characters.
Which we never knew anything about.
We didn't know we didn't find anything else about.
We
the
don't
rest
have
of
to
the
kill
characters.
them. I think.
Okay, all right. Captured. They got captured off screen, and now the rest of the characters had to save them. How about that?
Maybe they just not be there. They were too big of stars for such a small.
More like
movie.
I want to commit Suicide Squad.
I got a lot of faith in the sequel, though. I think that James Gunn is.
I don't know why you have so much faith in the sequel.
Because I know that
when you want to get it right, you get the gun.
I know that James Gunn he's gonna do the same route like Terminator, and he's gonna be like, fuck all this stuff from the beginning. He's gonna do his own thing and make it just as dope as the first.
He's not gonna do his own thing. He's just gonna pay more attention to the comics.
No, I think that DC has learned their lesson of interfering. I think that they're gonna.
Oh really?
I think that he has a lot.
Oh really?
I mean, look at the movies they've been putting out in the last few.
That's true.
Years. They've been better.
They're 3 for 3.
They're better. And you know what it is? When the director and the writers are talking in the corporate executive, could you guys fuck up? And they're like, oh, okay.
That's what you have to do.
And they're like, oh, okay.
That's what you have to do.
It's like look at Black Panther, Kevin Feige. You think Kevin Feige was over, what's the name, Ryan Coogler's shoulder every few months? Like, no,
he's like, yo, you know about this? And he's like, nah, bro, I'm just.
Or was he sitting? He probably was sitting behind the camera like, do your thing, brother.
I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige, when it comes to like interference, is like Reggie Early from Airheads. He'd be like, "You mind taking a step back? You're standing on my dick."
like not even jumping on the MCU for a second, but I think that's another thing that makes it flow so well. Because Kevin Feige brings in like Miss Marvel, for example. You don't think that he's going to find Pakistani people to be involved with the writing, with the producing, with the acting, like every aspect. Like that's how they get it so right.
In essence, what you're looking for is you are looking for authenticity.
Yes.
And authenticity, a lot of times, as much as like I feel like, we all have different cultures and we all have different stories that we tell, that some of them are very unique to certain cultures. And the important thing is to have people who can tell that story. As much as you may go to school and study African American studies, I'm sorry, but you can't necessarily know the very experience of being, a black female or male.
It's like, hey, let's make a Chinese superhero, and we're gonna have an all black cast, and we're gonna like what? All the writers are gonna be.
That
black.
sounds like some Sony movie.
It's like, wait, what?
That sounds like everybody in China when they watched Black Panther, like, I don't get the connotation. What does it have to do with me?
Like, no.
But again, Chinese man.
Like
you make a good point.
Shang-Chi, which they went dark with information. I know they probably making the shit out of that movie right now, but guarantee you, there's like China's being represented like crazy in that movie.
They're not trying to have another Iron Fist scenario.
Or what's it? The Great Wall with Matt Damon. You remember that movie? Yeah.
The Great Wall of Failure.
The Great Wall of Failure is what that was.
Oh my god.
It's interesting you say that because a nice segue over to our next and final topic, which is wrestling. We used to just talk about on the show WWE, but let's face it, we're unfiltered here, and we're just gonna call it like it is because we're fans. WWE has been handing out hot garbage for a couple of months now. Diced apples, but with worms on them. Just not good stuff. So we're also going to talk about AEW as well, which has been handing out by far. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Cody Rhodes had a promo that he cut for his match that he had with Full Gear with Chris Jericho, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And it was
Le Champion.
If you have not seen this promo, please do yourself a favor. If you are a true wrestling fan and not a sports entertainment fan, which don't get me wrong, I love the entertainment factor of wrestling, but I also need to feel like the stakes are real. I know it's fake.
Yes,
Sorry, I'm using the F word. I know it's fake, but I need to also feel like the stakes are there. Like, I need to go, oh man, when Undertaker fight that big gorilla, it's gonna be a problem, man. He's gonna
gorilla.
like something. Like he's gonna eat. Like some type of stakes are there. Some type of emotional investment there.
First, that starts with the storylines, which WWE have definitely lacked in a lot in the last 2 to 3 years.
So let's
at least.
I would
at
say
least 2 to 3 years.
I would say that the things that they have forgotten, and the sad truth is that they have now realized. It took them a few years to realize, and this is not a session of us just bashing WWE. Again, fans our entire lives. We just want our wrestling.
They get stuff right. They're hit or miss. They get some stuff right sometimes.
But they be missing.
Yeah, the idea is that they have just somehow forgotten their own thing, and now they're taking the thing that's still left that still has some value, which is NXT. And now they're taking that, and they're going to go, oh, we're going to blend it with these guys. Like, we told you and sold you on the fact that NXT was the baby brand, the NCAA of wrestling, of our system that they're creating.
Which, since you brought that up, thinking about the last two, the Raw and SmackDown that just occurred,
yes.
I do think that it was probably a mistake to have Adam Cole, and I love Adam Cole too. Adam Cole, baby. But I do think it was a mistake to have him squash Daniel Bryan. And then to go on and almost squash Seth Rollins, which is like, you're just proving that you're proving what I always say, which right now is I think NXT is better than Raw and SmackDown. It's like, you're not supposed to literally tell me that.
Correct.
Like, so I don't think he should have won. They should have found another way to, like, disqualification, or what they did with Rollins, where
he didn't squash him.
He didn't squash him. But I don't think that he should have beat Daniel Bryan. First of all, the NXT title never should have been on the line.
Correct.
And then two, I think he should have. They could have even had it simple as someone grab his leg, Daniel Bryan hit him 1, 2, 3. All right, now you can argue somebody cheated in the match. But they literally had Daniel Bryan just lose to Adam Cole.
And then here's the funny thing about that. This is where bad writing comes into play. To sort of bring you home and bring you into this. I don't know if you saw on SmackDown, they also had the new Universal Champion beat up Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
He beat him up. So it's like now Daniel Bryan is now going from this Adam Cole thing, which shouldn't have really happened, except for the fact that, let's call it exactly what it is. WWE, as much as they say that they're not concerned about AEW and, like, the noise that they're making, only being around for a little over a month, the noise that they're making over there that people are starting to pay attention to is that there is emotional investment in the things that are happening over there. Don't get me wrong, AEW is filled with high spots.
Now, I'm going to say this too. AEW, and you go ahead and boo me, AEW is nothing more than the new WCW. That's all they are. They're the new WCW. They have this. When WCW first started, when Hogan and Scott Hall and them went over, it created the same hype. It's literally the same. Good.
I think it's the revival of WCW.
Yeah, it's
with
the
the
same
Diet
thing.
Coke version of ECW.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. The only thing that I will say to them is, maybe you want to slow down with some of the intensity.
The high spots.
Because I'm like, your wrestlers are going to get injured pretty quick because they got barbed wire and put them through eel matches. And I'm like,
how the hell do you put them through an eel?
I don't know. I'm just
grabbing the eel like, yeah, you going to go through
hold him, put him in there.
Like, I didn't get to see the full gear pay-per-view, but I literally saw, what's the name? Neville, a.k.a. Pac now. Literally seen him suplex somebody on a guardrail in a chair. And I was like, this is what I wanted in video games years ago. But I was like, his spinal cord can't be, like, okay after doing that.
I think what they're doing, and just to give a clarification for anyone who may not know what a high spot is, a high spot is essentially like a really impactful moment that makes the fans go, oh!
Yeah.
So AEW, the only critique I give to it is, like you said, there is a lot of that.
They do that, but they do a lot of that every week.
Like,
maybe you want to just do that at maybe a pay-per-view?
I'm concerned
and tone it down a little bit.
The less concern I have on that is the fact that it's very possible that they just have really good people who know how to do that in a safe manner. To give you a pop and give you a high spot without taking the serious bump that's going to shorten your career.
But I call AEW the new WCW just because, like, they have storylines and they have things going on. I really felt that too when I watched Cody Rhodes' speech. I felt like, man, don't lose. I don't want him to not get a title shot. Like, I felt like I really started to care. I haven't felt that way in WWE
it's been a long time. Like, the last time I felt some type of emotional connection to a title was you and I both were sitting at WrestleMania this past year, and Kofi Kingston was the first African American WWE champion in history.
Hopefully
they never talked about it.
And hopefully it doesn't take another 11 years before that happens again.
I mean, we don't know how long it's going to take now, but
it took how old we were.
Yeah, we don't know.
They were hitting them with the Coco Beware for a long time.
Yeah.
Not winning shit.
Yeah.
We used to have Virgil and Coco Beware, now we got the new guy.
And now AEW stole Virgil. Oh. He's over there now. They snatched everybody up.
They're bringing everybody over. The reason why I think AEW is different from WCW is the fact that one of the things that was the rise and the downfall.
I said it's a different name.
I mean, different name for sure. I think the biggest thing is the fact that they are focusing less on the star power, which is what really was a rise and fall of WCW, which is they literally took so many people and they had all of these people who were already names, pushed them all together, gave them big paychecks.
I would agree with you on
Go
that.
have a great time.
I would agree with you on that because Shawn Spears is a guy that WWE never used.
Correct.
I'm watching this guy fight in matches and I'm like, he's in matches and he's pretty good. But they never took the time.
That's what AEW is also doing, and also AEW to give them a big shout out. They are not only changing things in terms of taking small people, spending time and story, and making titles matter, but they're also changing the overall landscape of wrestling because, as much as again WWE would never admit this, they are allowing for some of the talent that's in WWE to get some amazing deals that they would have never got if AEW. For whatever reason, we just got
the most recent news about Randy Orton locked into a new
5-year extension, which we don't know the price. But the fact that you have to announce this thing that we never heard of before,
that you locked him in for 5 years, says he can't have him go to no AEW.
Yeah, now, if anyone knows the story, he actually went online and made a joke about going to AEW and going all elite. And he posted a picture of him with some door that said elite.
But let's face it.
And the internet blew up.
Let's face it, with Cody Rhodes over there, Jericho over there, if Randy Orton showed up at AEW, I believe the ratings would go through the goddamn roof.
He's established himself. He is definitely one of the I would say the only people from a third generation that is left from our era that is still relevant. He could go and get into a match and he's still relevant.
Him, The Miz, and a couple of
is he a third generation?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm just that are still kind of left from our era.
Yes.
They're because that's what I said. The most of the wrestler roster are just people who've come up from NXT now.
So our recommendation, we like some of the things that WWE are doing.
I love how he put the
some of the things that they're doing right now. But it's nice to see someone new. There's this Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt fighting for the Universal title at some point. At least there's a new match for the Universal title. Maybe Daniel Bryan might become the new Universal Champion.
He won't.
Maybe they'll have a feud. Who knows?
He won't.
But it's a new match. We're not seeing stuff.
the Bray Wyatt gimmick is a cash cow right now, so they're not. He's not losing the title.
The Fiend,
now.
That's
actually pretty good. That was the best I've seen in a long time. And as a person who doesn't watch wrestling on the regular,
I feel for my crackhead addiction of collecting Funko Pops, I'm dying for them to make that Bray Wyatt Fiend Funko Pop.
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna make. I guarantee you, they're going to make Bray Wyatt, the regular Bray Wyatt, on the show, the regular one, and the Fiend is going to be the Chase exclusive or something. Because they're gonna mix it up. That's why, and also it's great marketing.
Definitely.
I actually do like the gimmick of their, because I like that weird Mr. Rogers type of person, and then the real, I'm gonna just call it what it is, the real rapey quality of
serial killer quality.
All you gotta do is let me in. Wait a second, what is
I told you that
it's very weird. It's very weird.
when Bray Wyatt first came, I said this guy has the potential to be the new Undertaker.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's what it seems.
Of course, he can't be the.
He's
new
going to be his own version.
His own version of the weird, mysterious guy who can
almost semi-invincible.
Do you see that gimmick lasting for as long as the Undertaker? Like Undertaker's got a 30-year plus career.
I don't see it lasting that long.
I agree, and I don't necessarily
got like another year or two.
Like, literally, because, like, thanks a lot, guys, but I literally have my laptop open to NXT, and I have my phone on, like, AEW, and I'm trying to watch both shows instead of, like, just choosing one and watching the other one the next
I watch AEW, and I watch the highlights on the other ones. And I have cable, so there's really no... On the other... Because I can't sit there and tune into storylines like Lana and Rusev and the Bobby Lashley thing. I can't tune in for that.
Oh,
that's ridiculous.
You don't like storylines where she says she cheated on her husband because he wanted to have a kid and he was a sex addict, but then you go to another guy to have sex? Like, this is where I gotta go into the writer's room and go, what?
It's like, yeah, you can come real close to her. It was just like you slapped her face.
Hey,
like, what are you doing?
You know what? Like if my girlfriend came to me like, I cheated on you because we have sex, but I needed to have sex because he had sex, I'd be like, what? Like, what?
There's just a lot of lack of inconsistency. So this is what we're begging from WWE this week. We just need more consistency. For the love of God, please stop trying to push NXT and just let it be a great show. Don't fuse it in with your failing product, which is your like main roster, and try to go
the whole shit.
Yeah. Wait. Here's the dumbest thing, and this is my last point. The dumbest thing that they're doing right now that they think is a good idea. This is WWE. I'm talking to you guys. The brilliant thing that they think they're doing is we're gonna take our main roster guys who have been on NXT before,
yeah,
like Finn Balor, now AJ Styles and Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan, and we're gonna take them over there. Now we all know personally this is just so that they can try to boost the ratings for those shows, because people who don't watch NXT but watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown will go, oh, my favorite wrestler AJ Styles is over on Wednesday. I gotta go over there.
They're doing the same thing like they're doing the same thing like Disney Plus. They're integrating to make like if you connect it, then you don't have a choice.
That is a valid point you're making. You're saying I'm gonna take Thor and I'm gonna bring him down to the Falcon.
If you decide, all right, I'm not gonna watch NXT, then you might go to a convention and people are like, man, remember that match with the Usos and the Undisputed Era? And you're like, when did they fight? That was last week.
Oh,
you out of the loop because you don't watch all the shows.
But the problem is like, again, they're boosting it for Survivor Series because now for whatever reason we're gonna get
Survivor Series. If they do it right, could be the reset button. So you can actually, if they take away and they can start some established storylines within those, and start.
But they're not. The thing is, everything right now, all the storylines now is leading up to Survivor Series, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, NXT. We've given you, the Black Panther juice. Now go over there and feel strong and just, yeah, we're gonna show AEW. And it's like, I'm on Wednesday, like, what's NXT? What are you talking about? Oh, Chris Jericho's on. Like, I'm not paying any attention to it.
I feel. And you know what else is funny? Chris Jericho's not really doing anything different than he did when he was in WWE.
He doesn't need to.
He's already a staple. He's a staple.
He's taken his heels from WWE and just like put another little twist on it and brought it over there.
This dude is.
You gotta make it different enough so they don't come after you.
Yeah.
For him, he's so great because he's using his name. Not only that, he's coming out. They're doing a great thing in wrestling. They're doing the Lord's work. He is an established wrestler who is putting over a whole group of people that are not as big as him. His entire inner circle is a bunch of people who will be the future of AEW. Cody Rhodes and him are not the future.
Of course not.
But that's what Cody Rhodes is doing the same thing when he has matches with other people. He's putting over Shawn Spears and all these
people. That's what's supposed to happen because that's what the lineage, that's what the sort of rules of the game is. And it's like, you can try to break the rules, but then give me something better. If you're going to break them, give me something I can actually go behind. Don't go, oh, Shinsuke, I am the Intercontinental title for WWE, just going on that for a second. I am sick and tired of them handing it to some person of ethnicity to hold it onto it until they figure out what they want to do with it. They hand it to Bobby Lashley. They hand it to Shinsuke. They hand it to this guy. They hand it to that. Hey,
they don't really do anything significant.
The title means nothing. It's just like, hey, who are we gonna pick this week? Mahatma Gandhi. Come here. Let me give you the title. It's
that
like,
guy's dead. Raise him up from the grave.
Let's do something. Necromancy. Like, stop that. Intercontinental title means more.
Because
in the 90s, it used to mean
when it
something.
goes back to the Miz, he actually has dialogue that says,
now
it's relevant.
When the Miz has it, there's a whole storyline and people want the title and he's like, I make the title relevant. But when Shinsuke Nakamura has it, he's over in Japan and he's fighting people over there for in dark matches, and he's fighting people, and it's like he's not even defending the title. He disappears for that's not fair.
And this is the last one before we had to wrap it up. Or Asuka, who now has to spit venom in people's face to win matches. Not like she wasn't a good wrestler to begin with. Now she has to spit venom and cheat to win matches. I'm like, all right. You mean the longest? This chick was undefeated for like the longest in NXT history.
Correct.
Now she has to spit stuff in people's faces. Although I will say I did love the moment where she spit the stuff in Paige's face. That was hilarious. But other than that,
there's beautiful. And don't get me wrong, I know it's probably also a moment for her to say, "Hey, I'm honoring Tajiri."
Yeah,
definitely. That makes sense.
I feel like the biggest fracture in the whole thing, and this is what made me step away from wrestling for a while, was this. The biggest mistake they did was absolve the competition. Because when you don't have competition, you don't get good, true. You get complacent. And that's exactly what happened. After the Attitude Era, there was a whole big lull of
they bought their competition.
And they weren't getting better. And then they were like, okay, we still got ECW. Absolve that too.
They got lax. So what you're saying is they got comfortable, like, all right, we the big game in town.
Exactly.
We don't need to work hard
and the product suffered. Like iPhones.
But
it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
It's very true.
iPhones are good. They don't just make the same phone every year and add a couple new features to it.
A new camera?
How
many cameras do you have on your phone right now?
One.
I mean, there's 2 more cameras. You're welcome.
I mean, they don't do that. It's they're not charging you.
And their storylines are rubbish.
I'm gonna go ahead and
points made.
I'm gonna go off the lack of a script that we even have. Like I know, we worked for the Apple Farm.
Yes.
And there was a time of innovation, and now there is just a time of replication. Like they're literally just replicating.
Yeah, it's the best part now. I'm gonna keep saying. I said it when I worked there. I said it when it's not there.
They NBA 2K. They just making the same. They just making the same game and adding a couple
changing
new
features.
Changing the roster and adding a few features.
The iPhone 11 is the iPhone 10 with DLC content.
Yeah, there you go.
Pay for that upgrade, dog.
Oh, you want that DLC? Yeah, that's gonna be another $1,000.
Better upgrade your software. Maybe it'll work.
Well, with that note,
we're gonna
wrap it on.
Oh man,
we're gonna wrap it on up and bring it home. This has been another episode of the Ronnie and Markell Make a Podcast Show. As always, I'm Markell.
I'm Ronnie,
and this has been our guest from
True
Story, bro.
I'm your boy Sir Wednesday, aka Rizzy Sendu. Catch these guys same time, same channel every week, and catch us on True Story Bros on the podcast, on YouTube's or on the platforms that you see below.
Absolutely. Peace out, guys.
What's up, guys?
Hey, thank you for watching the video.
Did you like it?
Did you?
You probably just like the parts of me in it.
You really like the parts of me in it.
But anyway, if you like that video, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button there.
And if you don't, we have a bag of kittens with a baseball bat. And if you don't subscribe,
wow,
you know what's going to happen.
We're going to leave those kittens alone because we don't want any problems.